You can ring my bell, ring my bell.
Do you want to try a few mics then? Just swap between these two, and then we won't put this on yet. This is what people kept saying, I'll get this and I'll get this. It's an SM58. Those are like, everybody just buys them without trying them, and there's such a following that everybody tries to knock them off, not knock them off, but get some of that market. And it's very difficult to, because this is an attempt at that. But of course, I think it's better.
Yeah.
But people might think, I know that those can be around after 40 years because I've seen so many of them. This one might be better, but is it going to be around after 40 years? What's going to happen when I drop it for the first time? Is it tough? So it's going to take a while for anybody to get a reputation as well. So it's, whatever.
Who's
well,
this? Beyer?
No, SE Electronics. So this is about 70 quid. So let's try the SM58. Sorry, with the thing you're used to, with the compact, and then I'll swap it to this. Okay. Just to remind ourselves.
The very thought of you and I forget to do the very ordinary things that everyone ought to do. It's quite ringy up there, isn't it? The very thought of you and I forget to do the little ordinary things that everyone ought to do.
What did you notice? Anything?
It's in that range. There isn't so much, would you call it spiky? It's just, there's less ambient noise around, or is it picking up less?
To me, it sounded warmer, smoother down there. And when you breathed in and did this stuff, it occurred to me that it sounded cleaner, more detailed to me.
Yeah.
So it's not as if the difference between the detail, as I was saying earlier, it's not so much. It's like when you breathe in, you can almost hear the grain in the voice, rather than just having a smear of that just pushes through. Yeah, try one more time because we'll get the video. You can listen back.
The very thought of you, and I forget to do the do down there.
Yeah.
It's a bit reverby, is it, or? Don't go away, don't go away, don't. Yeah, it just seems quite clean actually.
Yes, it does. Try to put back to that one again.
Instantly, this seems just a bit flatter, doesn't it? Or
yes, it does to me. It just seems a bit nastier. Yeah, less musical, I think.
Not as full. Yeah.
So let's try those two with this amp. If I can find where I put the red.
The very thought of you and I forget to do love.
I would almost say that this amp with the SM58 makes the SM58 sound more like that amp with this.
Oh.
A little bit to my ears. So because yes, that one has got a spike and a bit of quack, and that's got a spike and a bit of quack. So we removed some of the spike and quack by using this. And this.
Spike and quack.
Yes.
It's just a farm the other.
What are we doing? We're going to drop your mic. So it's alright that SE actually. For the price it's done.
Well, I think it's very good. Am I putting it on correctly?
Yeah, some of them are very which I don't mind, provided they do fit. Oh, we just discovered something. Oh, why was that then? It's very tight fit, which I don't mind once I know I've got to do that, because you don't get that rattling that you sometimes get when they're loose, but that's a very snug fit.
The very thought of you and I forget to do the little ordinary things that everyone ought to do. I'm living in a kind of
just gonna check levels.
I'm happy as a king, and foolish though it may seem, to me that's everything.
Yeah. All right. That's. What do you think? Do you notice anything's quite? That sounds quite neutral and smooth to me.
Yeah. Yes,
So this is the SM58 with the compact with the AER.
Your love is king, drown you with my heart. Your love is king. Your love is king, drown you with my heart. Your love is king. I don't know the words. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
You're the very thought of you, and I forget to do. It really picks up a lot.
Yeah.
The little ordinary thing that everyone ought to do.
So for me, for whatever reason, that one, even though it's one of my favourite mics, on your voice, it doesn't particularly work for me.
No.
It doesn't have any advantages. So we'll just try them both on this, just in case.
The very
So
thought
this
of
is
you,
SM58 through.
and I forget
Bose.
to do the little ordinary thing that everyone ought to do. I'm living in a kind of daydream. I'm happy as a king, and foolish though it may seem,
Yeah.
the very thought of you, and I forget to do the little ordinary thing that everyone ought to do. It's not picking up so much sound.
Of that,
Handling.
no. Because it hasn't got, because that frequency that this one boosts, which was
Yeah.
more that, this one's not boosting.
Oh,
So yeah, so that boosting was picking up those
all of
frequencies.
this.
Whereas this one will pick up more, if you keep hold of it, he'll pick up more of that, more of the lower, because it goes lower. Yeah.
I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break.
Yeah, I can feel your lower notes through the floor. I don't know if you could.
Yeah.
Don't know if the 58 would do that.
I wish
Not so much.
I knew how
Yeah.
it would
just a
feel to be.
It's a really, it's quite obvious actually. I felt it quite strongly in my feet.
Yeah, so it's quite obvious from that, but sound-wise, as you hear on the video, when you're not
Yeah.
feeling, well, if you had it loud, if the video is full frequency,
Yeah.
the video will pick up that as well. But generally in a gig, as we were saying last night, if it's a rock band with the drums and the bass, the chances of that subtle,
No.
but with a jazz combo or something where there's just piano and space, things start to get like huge, isn't it, in my experience. So this one works. The Beyer M88 works okay on your voice with this amp. We didn't like it with that because of that slight push. So I guess now to go on to the posh ones. This is fairly posh. So I'll leave the video running, but I'll have to set up the
Can I just try this one? Just in that deep tone.
I wish I knew how it would feel to be free.
Can you hear it's doing the same thing it did with my voice? It leaves all that exposed because there isn't that underneath, so it leaves that. So your low notes have lost. There's no tunnelling through the floor for sure.
No. I wish I knew how.
Let me increase the bass. It will increase it somewhat.
How it would feel
That's
to
bass.
be free.
Halfway up.
I wish I could
It's getting a bit muddy,
break
I think.
all the chains
I still don't feel anything through the floor.
holding me. No.
So basically, it just doesn't go that low. Just even with and you start pushing the controls, and just gets a bit artificial really.
Yeah.
What you need is just something that naturally covers from there to there easily in its own, and then you can make subtle adjustments. Though this has got a bit of a mid-scoop, I notice.
Mid-scoop, so it doesn't pick up quite as much in mid?
Some little part of it, because what this has got a bigger speaker behind here. Obviously much bigger than that, which handles mostly the bass. And then, I think I can do this without damage, yeah. This is the mid and the treble, which is just 1, 2, 3, 4. And I don't know if you can see through there that there are different angles.
Oh,
Can you see all that?
yeah, they can.
So what it does is it spreads it that way, not so much up, but down a bit, so that you get a much wider, consistent sound as you move around. Because bass doesn't matter so much. When they put subwoofers in, they don't care where they put them, because the ear can't tell where bass is coming from. So that's why you get subwoofers to one side or somewhere, or sometimes in a restaurant you see these little satellite speakers, you're thinking, but where's the bass? Because I can hear, and it could be anywhere. So that's the thinking behind it. This also comes with a spacer, which fits in there, 2 spacers, so it brings it up to there. So if you're on the floor, this could be at that height. And it comes with another spacer, where you put the 2 of them together, and this on top. So with this on the floor, this is about this height. So for a restaurant, everybody gets to hear the spread of the bit that counts, if you like, for intelligibility, and the lower parts are just coming from this on the floor. So it's a very clever, neat design. So you just turn up, you don't need a speaker stand or anything. So, Posh Mics then. Well, the one that Jenny Ann likes and bought.
And I wish I knew how. Something loud, say it clear, for the whole world to hear.
Yeah?
Yeah. What are you noticing on this? To me, perhaps my ears have just become, or my brain has become
Sounds
a bit
like a smoothie to me.
like
It's got, it's
the very thought of you, and I forget to do the little ordinary thing that everyone ought to do.
Quickly go back to
The very thought of you, and I forget to do
all that.
the little ordinary things that everyone ought to do.
Sounds more, smoother and more extended. Moving from this to this.
The very thought of you, and I forget to do the little ordinary thing that everyone ought to do. The very thought of you, and I forget to do the little ordinary thing that everyone ought to do. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free.
It's nice in that area there.
I wish I could break all the chains holding me.
You really feel the bass.
That's nice. Alright, so that's that one. Similarly, next.
I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. And I wish the very thought of you.
Neumann KMS 104 Plus.
And I forget to do the little ordinary things that everyone ought to do. I'm living in a kind of daydream. I'm happy as a king. Wait.
Well, what do you think about that?
The very it's smooth, isn't it? There's it's taken away less of the static around it.
What I'm thinking is I want to try it next compared to that Sennheiser then you should just try it.
Say that to the camera.
This is Janet.
Janet Penfold.
Oh shit, hello, so sorry, I didn't know you were filming.
Where is that Sennheiser?
The very thought of you, and I forget to do the little ordinary thing that everyone ought to do. I'm living in a kind of daydream.
Yeah, that one is smoother than that one, even though they've got a similar kind of tone to them.
Yeah.
That one's a bit of a smoothie, isn't it?
Wait.
Okay.
Wait.
So, which makes sense because that has a large diaphragm.
The very thought of you, and I forget to do the little ordinary thing that everyone ought to do. I'm living in a kind of daydream. I'm happy as a king. So what was the other one?
And foolish.
And foolish though it may seem, to me that's everything.
That's nice with the low notes. And that one, if you please.
The very thought of you, and I forget to do the little ordinary thing
I think this one too.
that everyone ought to do. I'm living in a kind of
Very smooth, that bit up
daydream.
there when you do that, isn't it?
I'm happy as a
Maybe that one again
king. The very thought of you, and I forget to
It's very
do
good, that one.
the little ordinary thing that everyone ought to do. I'm living in a kind of daydream. I'm happy as a
I think that one's
king,
just a little bit clearer. There's some
and foolish though it may seem, to me that's everything.
the sort of, this is the one that those other two variants. Yes, good to go. That's a variant of this. This is I think one I think they came out with Neumann
So this is the Neumann.
KMS 105,
Oh my gosh.
and they had a couple of tweakings of it for there are a couple of sisters, but that's the one most people think of. Well, I'm going to leave it a while because it takes condenser mics take a little while to stabilise. So that should be okay by now.
The very thought of you, and I forget to do the little ordinary thing that everyone ought to do. I'm living in a kind of
It's a little
daydream.
lighter than the other one, isn't it?
I'm happy as a king, and foolish though it may
Keep
seem,
going. We're going to swap back to
to
this.
me that's everything. The mere idea of you, the longing here for you,
I found that
you'll never know
that speaker's a bit
how
cracky
slow the moments go till I'm near to you. I'm living in a kind of daydream. I'm happy as a
hasn't got
king,
the warmth
and
texture to it
foolish
there.
though it may
Very clear, that
seem,
one.
to me that's everything.
Yeah, it loses.
I wish I knew how it would feel to be free.
Quite a bit.
I wish I could break all the chains holding me, and I wish I could do all the things I'd like to do, though I'm way overdue. I'd be starting
works well.
anew.
Maybe that one again then, because that one's so far sorry, that's me. Janet thinks sounds, and I think possibly.
I like that one. Is yours a more up to date one than mine?
No, it's just different voicing.
Okay.
You could always sell those and get the other one because those keep their price.
So this
Well,
is
we'll try it on yours in a minute.
104 and 105.
That's the 105, wasn't it?
Okay. Yeah.
And that's the 104 plus.
So this is Janet's.
No,
No,
that was Jack.
this
That
was-
was mine, sorry.
This is
No.
That's his.
that's okay.
How I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. And I wish I could do all the things I'd like to do. Though I'm way overdue, I'd be starting anew.
Yeah, that one's, of all of them, I think probably that one for
Yeah.
me when I'm here. But you'll hear it back on the video. Do you want to try any, Janet, whilst they're here?
I could try that one.
It would be. I've heard that one on through mine, haven't I?
Oh,
It's
you
just
did?
not as.
I'll just do it one more time if you like.
Just one more, yes, please. What's a poppy song that can?
Let me tell you about a girl.
Don't know that one.
Very modern.
Billy Ray was a preacher's son, and when his daddy was busy to come along, when he gathered round and started talking, colored red man walking
Makes it a bit
through his
lazy as well,
backyard,
doesn't it?
he'd go walking. Then I'd look into his eyes. Lord knows to my surprise, the only one who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. The only boy who could ever teach me was the son of a preacher man. Yes, he was. He was. Oh, yes, he was. Georgia, Georgia, no peace I find. Just an old sweet song keeps Georgia, I know, on my mind.
Sorry, I think the delay was on there.
Georgia, I said Georgia,
Janet's voice is very different to yours.
the song is you.
So I'm thinking with your amp, just from guessing, that it wouldn't suit Janet at all.
Georgia, Georgia, the whole day
So it's all
through
just too much, I think.
sounds
there.
as sweet and clear as
When it
moonlight
gets through.
on the
But when you
pine.
heard that, I heard the moon, la, la. I know you're the octave above. You hear that.
Moonlight.
You don't really hear the push. Which you know, if you're not used to it, you get it's very so it's very clear. But it's just for me, it's missing the other little bits which I like. It's just left that bit really coming through nice and cleanly,
Yeah.
and it just hints at other stuff.
The stuff.
Yeah, and perhaps over exaggerates a little bit too much of that.
Well, can you remind me what that one is again?
Which
I'm
one?
going to take a picture of that one.
What KMS 105 plus.
KMS. Okay.
So maybe try yours.
Mine.
Do a
Can
little
I-
bit more through that one.
Okay.
I'll turn it. I'll switch it down here.
Other arms reach out to me. Other eyes smile tenderly. Still in sleepless
So yeah,
dreams,
getting a lot of that.
I see the road leads back to you.
So I'll try the other one.
Yeah, the mic.
Your one, yeah.
Georgia, I said Georgia, no peace I find. Just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Other arms reach out to me.
Don't really notice, yeah.
Billy Ray was a preacher's son, and when his daddy would visit, he'd come along. When they gathered round, started talking, that's when Billy would take me walking. Through the backyards we go walking, then he'd look into my eyes. Lord knows to my surprise, the only boy who could ever reach me, he was the son of a preacher man.
So that's yours. So try the other one.
Hillary was a preacher's son. When his daddy would visit, he'd come along. When they gathered round, started talking, that's when Billy would take me walking. Through the backyard we go walking. Then he'd look into my eyes. Lord knows, to my surprise, the only boy who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man.
So they're very similar. Yeah, it does what they say out to my ears. It's got a bit more low end, and the top there's not quite so open. Just depends what you like. And maybe finally you'll try that one.
Our day will come if we just wait a while. No tears for us. Think love and wear a smile. No one can tell me that I'm too young to know. I love you so, and you love me. Our day will come. Do 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 do. Georgia, Georgia, no peace I find. Just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind.
Yeah, they're all good, really. And then finally, I suppose, at SM58 to finish off, which is
Trusted.
Billy Ray was a preacher's son. When his daddy would visit, he'd come along. When they gathered round, started talking, that's when Billy would take me walking through the backyard. Yeah, I prefer the other. Georgia, Georgia, no peace I find. Just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind.
you get used to it, don't you? And try this one.
Yeah.
Georgia, this is smoother.
Yeah.
Georgia,
It's good, isn't it?
no peace I find.
Yeah.
It's got the low
Just
end
an
as well.
old sweet song keeps Georgia
Yeah,
on my
They've done well.
mind.
Really good.
That's nicer, yes.
that's 70 quid.
Oh wow. Well, I'll have 3.